Robin, my wife. Can you hear me out there? Bring me a copy of that book, Schemes of Satan, and bring me a copy of that CD. Okay, yeah. I can just. We were searching for something to put on the cover here of the Schemes of Satan, and you search the internet. A lot of times pictures be copywritten, and there were some photos. Oh, thank you. The CD, the CD. Oh, you brought the CD. This is an imam's meeting.
Oh, not this. I got the wrong one.
Yeah. It's an imam's meeting from 1978. And Imam Muhammad spoke on what Brother Akbar was talking about Jesus. And the way he did it, it was so scholarly. And in 70, he sounded, real sophisticated. And if you had never heard a word he was saying, it was such an authoritative and professional speak. And his later speeches, he started, structuring them, and they were more professional and more, to appear more scholarly. But, with all the meat and all of the everything, I'm fasting, so let's not start talking about food too much. But alhamdulillah, but it was all there. This is the okay, yeah, 81 al
Tafsirs on Surah.
Tafsirs on Surah.
And Surah
81.
Taqwiyah.
And Surah Taqwiyah.
Taqwiyah.
This is the one?
Yeah.
And it's a double disc. And he talked about how the history, he talked about the mountains.
I'm gonna have to get that.
He explained the metaphor of the mountain and how them being balanced and weight, and the history of man and relationship with the sun. How the sun, they thought of the sun being, when it went down and set, it was going to the valley of the dead. And every morning it was rising, and Jesus Christ and all of that. And it's just, he did it in such a scholarly fashion that it was really good. I was wondering why the brother that did the tapes, he's a Caucasian man. He family in different religious and charitable aspects, and but he's retired, so he does this, and he helps us out. We may be like his favorite customers, because I don't have to go see him. He come to me, so he I could see something in him when he brought me the tape. He shook my hand, and he went into his phone and was showing me pictures and talking about his son bought a Victorian, and he's trying to put these people up. They were kicked out of another house, and he's putting these doing it. So I could tell that he was really touched by that. Mm-hmm. Christians want to know about Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. And they know something ain't right. They know it ain't right. They just know it ain't right. But they believe, and what they believe, I believe, softens the heart of most people, is that Jesus died for their sins. And how can you turn your back on a man they call the Son of God, who died? It's to a child. It sounds like something you trick a child to get his candy from him or something. Now it sounds like trickery. But most adults, if they never got nothing better to explain that, they don't have nothing better to replace it. But this tape, that's an imam's meeting. I never heard that imam's meeting.
What's the name of it?
Because I wasn't there. I thought, when my father first came in the beginning, Imam has it.
History speaks. Tafsir on Surah. On Surah 81 at Taqwiyah. Surah 81. The tafsirs on Surah 81. Inshallah, I'm going to get that
now,
played
what's on the back? Is it the same thing on the back?
It's disc 2. Same thing.
Disc 2, yeah.
Disc 1 and disc 2. Part 1 and 2.
What's the number?
It's number 194. CDH 194.
Sister Ameda, she had transcribed this. You do have it in your archives.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we have the transcript of it. Have you seen it?
12.
Is it enough page? How many pages? We should put that out. But listening to this, it's the way he presented it. Listening to it is far more. I don't know about more pleasurable. If you want to study it, you can. If you have the archive, you can read it. Clear? Oh, it's crystal clear.
Yeah. Okay.
That's another thing about it too. It is crystal clear, and I was shocked. I'm usually, they sabotage it, but this one, I think, because of the subject matter. See, they didn't mess up everything. The stuff they wanted, he's dropping them real jewels. they make sure that somebody got a clear tape.
Right.
And plus, I got this through the back door. I can't get what the back door is that it's a brother. I can't divulge his name, and I can't divulge anything about him.
That's right.
But he slipped me a one of those what do you call it? The memory thing?
Hard drive.
Yeah, hard drive. He gave me a hard drive with hundreds, possibly thousands of hundreds of lectures that he got from he got close up with some thieves that was trying to rob us, and he turned on them, and he separated himself from them, and he said, brother, this belongs to you, and sent it to us. And we don't know where he lived. We don't know where he been. Where he going. But this was before Imam passed or right after he passed. It was even before. It was before Imam passed. Yeah. So Imam said he got people. The angels is protecting Imam, and so I never worried that because most of my help didn't come from me looking for it or reaching out for it. The help people approach me like this Imam. He just told you how Allah moved his soul and his spirit to come in and support. You know, I didn't call him and say, I think you can help me. Nah, Allah gave him that mission. You know,
Father placed him in that position.
Yeah,
You didn't even know.
yeah, but not like the
When he used to come to the,
I said that I didn't even want it. I was afraid of it. I ain't afraid to do, alhamdulillah.
but see, Allah bless you with help.
Yeah. And because I know what people expect. That's people are looking for. I know what Satan is. Satan wants. Satan wish I had an ego and I was trying to compete with my father. I would be tied up my entire life, and I look up, I'll be an old man, miserable, sick, and probably at the pit, about to fall in the grave, and maybe telling myself, "Oh, you did good." They're gonna put you up there in the stars with Imam Muhammad somewhere. And that to me, I'm rational. I was raised in my father's house, so I have a rational mind. I'm gonna help where I can help. I ain't gonna try to take your job. All these learned imams, they've been studying Quran. I was still trying to get out to middle school and learn ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. So
You remind.
why should I step on your toes?
Remind me something of Moses. What the Imam was talking about. Moses didn't have all that knowledge to establish, but he knew how to get people that had the knowledge,
Right.
and they worked for him to establish what needed to be established. Elijah Muhammad did the same thing,
And like one Imam said that we all pray. Imam Anthony, he said that we pray for Allah to take the knot out of our tongue, and Abraham did the same thing. And eventually, if you ask Allah, what's in your Moses did that. And what's in your heart? Moses and Aaron, right? And so Allah sent Aaron to help him, but eventually Allah lifted the burden, and he was able to speak from his heart. So we the same way too. I was the same way. I knew the world wasn't right, but I was too young and inexperienced in the world. So I used to pray to Allah all the time. Help me fight this evil. Help me not fight the evil, just to speak what's in my heart, because I couldn't put it in words.
Right.
But now what's on my heart, my education ain't that great, but I can communicate now. And that was I can understand what the feeling of the pressing in the heart when Allah speaks to the prophet. We probably all have experienced that in our lifetime, that extreme pressure when you can't express what's in your heart verbally, and you really want to, and you feel a need to, and then Allah lifts that burden eventually, But
That's
yeah,
what
well,
they call a broken heart.
yeah,
A broken heart, or a heart that needs to be mended when there's something so heavy on there, even if it's love or even if it's something you can't express.
with me it was
Still,
truth.
truth.
In the world of lies and falsehood, it's truth. Because I watched my father. I watched my father use truth to defeat all evils and everything, all obstructions in his way. He did it. He did it freely and with knowledge and
Allah told him to do that in Quran. You hurl truth to knock out falsehood, to knock his brain right out.
and he did it well. He did it well. Yes, he did. But, so we came up with this image because this is a human being, and when Satan is in the life of a human being, he's met with so much sorrow and disappointment. So that's what got the tear, and the spiritual. That's what he tries to get you through the passions and things. And then the image is it's like an eye in the earth. This is the earth. So you see the image of the earth. The image wasn't the whole earth. If it was the whole earth, it would have been just as good. But you can tell that this is the earth. So also, it reflected to me the idea that the earth is also, because Allah speaks about the Quran, the earth will be like she's giving revealing, like giving revelation that the earth is showing the because we're talking all this talk about global warming and the ozone and the damage that man. So the earth is crying, and that's what this image is saying. And this is all because of man's Satan's influence in man's life. So
beautiful.
I felt that Allah blessed us to have this image. And first we had the image where it was the background for the whole page, but the pixels, because usually the free images aren't the best images. So we shrunk it down and it worked for us.
Beautiful.
Why don't you put that explanation somewhere?
No, you look. See, the idea, the subconscious. That explanation is there when you look at it.
Yeah.
Because it's the earth, it's an eye. You're a human being, and it's crying, and it says the schemes of Satan. So I interpreted it. Now somebody else might be able to interpret it more elegant and more clear than I can. And they may. Right. There's probably 100 versions of the explanation for this image. They say a picture can tell 1,000. Well, there you are. You working?
Yeah, man.
I'm
just not getting in here now. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, I was thinking about it this morning.
16, 17 now.
That's a compliment.
You done lost some weight. You don't get on the scale.
Yeah, but
Your face
some
is
of this is with age.
I ain't never seen you with a stomach.
Not on
But your
the
face is smaller. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Ramadan works miracles.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Yeah. One of actually, the Caucasian I went to school with, was my brother. But
that's the same haircut, right? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? It could be your haircut.
There's no hair up there.
He keeps the same style.
But what you were saying about the Caucasians, and Senator, I can't find it here, but it was talking about we Christians have to get this right about Jesus Christ and about the Trinity and the picture and everything, and it's quite detailed. I thought I saved it, but I can't find it now, and I was surprised.
That's because of their interactions with believing Muslims due to the conflict around the world. So a lot of Christians and a lot of interfaith, really we have to thank Imam Muhammad for that, for promoting the interfaith. So a lot of interfaith interactions has got a lot of Christians rethinking. And before, Christians used to bounce around from different denominations. Usually they have a family church that they go to, and I hear them talking about, when they get older, they might marry, and then they may change the church. They may move to a different locale. So with them, it depends on their life situation. But they never had the option of a completely different view. And some of my experience in, iftars, and visiting masjids and listening to khutbahs, and it's really opening their minds up, and they're taking a different look and questioning. I think Caucasians do it more so than others. But yeah, I think that that they really appreciate some of what Imam Muhammad used to give in the explanation about Christ Jesus. And what I'm real careful about is not to appear to be in too much in condemnation. Like his style, if you get his talent, Akbar's talent, then you should do that. But us, if it's not natural, people like you so much because of your not just the truth you speak, but your sincerity. What you saying is
that's homie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just sincerity. you know, if we could afford to, I would have him. My father, when he first came in the office, he used to break my heart. I said, "How you just moved that brother and his family from one state to the next?" You know, I couldn't see us being uprooted. I just thought, but imams, you know, a lot of imams, they would move from state to state and city to city. I said, I wonder if some of that talk would work in the parks in Chicago. It probably would. It probably would. You ever been to Chicago?
Yeah.
I mean, and tried to do dawah?
No.
I think most of us are from the South.
Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
and other states.
Yep, that will work here. But I'm gonna try to get you in Chicago on the internet if I can. Maybe encourage people. Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
Does that tape come in a DVD?
This one?
The one that's on the...
No, this was
CD.
1978. It's probably somewhere on one of those big movie camera. Depending on where it was, I don't think we had it. Chicago. This was on Stony Island, I'm sure. Chicago, Illinois. It's probably, and I wouldn't have any idea how to find it, because when we moved from Stony Island, you know, those Fourth Sunday hookups and most of the meetings were taped on those big movie cameras. The Nation of, well, Imam Muhammad, those came after Elijah Muhammad, right? Elijah Muhammad had the movie cameras.
Reel to reel.
Yeah, he had the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the first Sunday really started early.
16 or something.
Yeah, they big.
Yeah.
They big. So them big old can things, it's hard to find people that even convert that do those. So that's one thing we're gonna look for. We're gonna have to invest some money and time into it. But the thing is, you know, a lot of times they'll tell you the cent is, you know, they're not in the state, and you have to put it in the mail. And I was a little concerned. It's the only copy we got. If I took it, I would want to take it in person.
Right.
Some of the stuff, and really, I want to sit there and watch him do it, and hold him accountable if he damaged anything.
Yeah.
But so, you know, it's been 10 years I've been holding on, or even longer, because actually, believe it or not, my father gave me them old archives when they moved from the west side. Because when we left Stony Island, he moved his personal stuff to the west side, where Imam Hafiz was at the masjid there.
On Rockmine.
Rockmine, yeah. And so when they moved from there, my father had them move, and this is another thing, Chicago. All them brothers that ain't around, they was carrying boxes and moving stuff into my attic and in my basement, all that stuff. And then the house that had some of the stuff that wouldn't fit in my house was in the house where my sister raised her children, and she left that house. She bought a house out here, but my father kept that house in his name the whole time. She couldn't sell it, and she wasn't able to sell it, so we still own it. And the Mosque cares, we rent it, and that's one way we're able to pay for some of these events. The donation, I'm gonna bring in donations here sometime. Y'all gonna figure out. That's why don't nobody get paid, because they wasn't giving my father enough money. You know, you'd be surprised. They weren't giving them no money.
He
Poor
said it a
people.
lot.
And then somebody mentioned the poor people. Why do you think they called the Elijah Muhammad Poor Fund? Because them was poor people giving little money, giving freely, but it was all they could afford. But it wasn't a whole lot of money from each individual. Each individual gave often. And with Imam Muhammad, the individuals that support him, they support often. They not know once a year, every 6 months, or once a year, or every blue moon random. They consistent.
Every month.
Yeah, every month. But it's small, and I hate to even say, it's a handful of people carrying this whole community. You know, not literally, but it's a handful of people carrying what we do. I say the whole community because I believe we are still the community.
Yes.
Ain't nobody stepped up
Yeah.
and said they was gonna take over the responsibilities that we take over. You know, they was just hoping that they could run me away. You know. And,
You got a question right there.
Yes, sir. Who was
Oh,
that?
no, I just was going to point out, Brother Imam Hajim pointed out something about the brain yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He said that it has the ability to correct it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the subconscious, right? Like
To
that you can-
correct it?
Yeah, meaning that you can send something into it backwards, and it'll play it front, and then store it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the
Okay.
subconscious has the ability to do that.
Mhm.
And that's spelled out in that book, Subliminal Seduction.
Yeah, subliminal. I read like 2 volumes of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they do that all the time. And also things that your mind can't catch that flash real quick.
Right.
Because I got these glasses, and these suckers is like wearing a high definition movie or something. And the funny part.